Joining us now, Republican Wyoming Senator John Barrasso, the number 3 in the Republican leadership, along with being Republican conference chair. Senator, thank you very much. Infrastructure, the president's next big proposal. You're going to hear from him directly when he has the message to Congress next week. But he says he wants to compromise. The Senate Majority Leader says he can push it through without a single Republican vote. Is this going to be bipartisan? Are you people willing to give? And do you think he's willing to give?
Well, it should be bipartisan, Andrea, but let's be honest. Let's refer to something as infrastructure that's really infrastructure: roads, bridges, ports, airports. I'm happy to debate with the president his major spending proposal, which includes green cafeterias and lunch programs and climate justice and issues like that, including a huge Medicaid expansion. I want to go to ports, airports, roads, bridges, highways, all of those things that are so important. But the president has more money in his program for electric vehicles that are usually, bought by rich people than he does for all of those things that I just mentioned. So I'm looking for a bipartisan solution on things that the American people think of infrastructure, not the things that really has turned into what looks to me as a liberal slush fund for spending on things completely unrelated to the infrastructure needs of our nation.
Well, let me separate it for a moment, separating out your criticisms of those other aspects of the plan. Are you willing to do something on the corporate tax rate to pay for the things that you do like, the roads, the bridges?
Well, first of all, you got to look at the fact that none of these electric vehicles pay anything. They say, well, add it to the gas tax. Well, they don't use any gas at all, so they don't contribute to the Highway Trust Fund. I'm not interested in raising taxes on the American people. I'm interested in making sure that people that use what we have in our country actually pay to use what they're doing. And we're seeing none of that with any of the electric vehicles. And that is one of the main focuses of President Biden's infrastructure plan. What we really ought to do is go back to what we passed in a bipartisan way in the Environment and Public Works Committee, the highways bill. Last time it got out of the committee that I chaired, 21-0. I supported it. Bernie Sanders supported it. That ought to be the basis of any infrastructure bill, because it really dealt with what the American people think of as infrastructure, and it had broad bipartisan support.
Are you ruling out any kind of increase in the corporate tax rate? Joe Manchin said he would agree to go to 25%, not the 28% that the president has called for, from 21%, where it was cut, as you know, as you voted for, from 35% under President Trump. Are you willing to do the corporate tax rate as one part, or is it just user fees to pay for that piece of it?
When I look at what has happened with what I believe has been one of the crowning achievements of our past administration, cutting the tax rates and cutting taxes on individuals all across the country, which resulted in this incredible economic boom that we've been experiencing up until the time of coronavirus. I'm not ready to go back on any of the things that worked so successfully to help stimulate the American economy. What I want to do is work together in a bipartisan way like we did last year on roads, highways, bridges built. We've also done one on water infrastructure, on our ports, on our waterways. Those are the things the American people think of when we think of infrastructure, and that's where we need to be working on this.
And I do want to have a longer conversation with you about all of the electric vehicles and climate change proposals that are part of infrastructure and why you think it shouldn't be part of it. But let me ask you quickly, because we have an abbreviated segment today about Afghanistan, because you attended a briefing yesterday. There'll be a briefing with the national security team for all of you, the cabinet secretaries, coming this afternoon. What is your opposition to the September 11th withdrawal plan?
Yeah, I think it's a mistake, Andrea. I think the decision of any leader, when they make a decision based on the calendar on the wall, which is what President Biden has done, saying September 11th, rather than the conditions on the ground, I think they live to regret those decisions. I think what we're going to see, if the U.S. pulls out, NATO will pull out, and the Taliban will take over again. The president's military advisors advised against this, as did his intelligence advisors. They have said this is going to turn the clock back on the women of Afghanistan. Girls trying to go to school to get an education will once again be killed. This will also set up a safe haven for those that want to do harm and danger to people all around the country and around the world, not just our country, but around the world. This will be a haven for terrorists. And, people in the United States may say, well, we're tired of fighting radical Islamists. They're not tired of fighting us, so we need to be ever vigilant.
Of course, we didn't hear very many Republicans speaking out when President Trump said it would be out by May 1st. But,
But respectfully, I would say that I disagreed with him as well on that. We have 2,500. Yeah, we have 2,500 troops there now, down from 100,000 troops. Stability in Afghanistan, I think, is in the best interest of our national security. We have fewer troops in Afghanistan now than I think we do in Germany or Japan or Korea. We haven't lost a single soldier in Afghanistan in over a year. So I think that it was a mistake to make the decision that President Biden has made, and I'm going to bring that up today with the Secretary of State and the Secretary of Defense.
Thank you very much, Senator John Barrasso. Thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.